When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk, people. When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk, people.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Make We Talk program. Right here on the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. This evening we're going to speak about the resignation of both, well, I wouldn't say resignation. I think Warmington was fired. I personally think Everald Warmington was fired. And Mark Golden told Mr. Dennis Mesdows to go too. But the Prime Minister of Jamaica should have told Mr. Warmington, like how they told the JLP party, told Mr. George Wright to step aside. They expelled George Wright from the Labour Party. Why is the members of the Labour Party and the Prime Minister of Jamaica afraid to expel Everald Warmington from the party? This evening we're going to have Robert Finzi-Smith, Michael Williams, and Luke George Cooke coming on to speak to us. They're buying votes in Jamaica, and the two political party is acting as if they don't know about it. The two political party believe that the Jamaican people are a bunch of idiots. And I say to you tonight that we're no fool. We're no idiots. And that is why the Jamaican people, the young people in Jamaica, it is not right for them to be saying that are doing it. But I believe that the two political parties in our country started the trend of vote buying in this country. And so when they go to their constituency nowadays during a local government election, these people, these political elites, the MPs and the others, are complaining that Jamaicans are saying to them If you don't give us a Nani or a Paul Bogle or a Shamsha or a Mandley, we ain't gonna vote for you. We ain't gonna vote for you. Let me say this to everybody this evening. That the two political parties started this vote buying in Jamaica. And if the young people of our country, I am not endorsing vote buying, don't get me wrong. I am not endorsing it one bit at all. What I am saying, that it should not be a surprise to the politicians that the Jamaican people are turning back. They're flipping the coins on them. Because they're the one who present money to the people. They're the one who present money to the people to get their vote. And I get to understand in this local government election, vote buying went on all over the place. From Negril Point to Moran Point. From Port Antonio to Trelawney. From Montego Bay to St. Elizabeth. From St. Elizabeth to West Rural and East Rural St. Andrew. Where Juliet Cuthbert the Flynn, or Juliet Cuthbert Flynn rather, not the Flynn. Jeffrey behave himself. Where Juliet Cuthbert Flynn told a media house that she was shocked that the people are so blatant in telling her, we ain't gonna vote unless you give us some money. I find it very funny. And what's on my mind this afternoon is that the Jamaican people have been taken for a fool for far too long. And the Jamaican people have decided to turn things around on these Jamaican politicians. And they have the audacity to be talking about Jamaica's democracy is at risk. So they're saying, you know, Jamaica's democracy is at risk. The democracy of Jamaica is at risk. That's what these politicians are saying. So the question I want to ask of them this evening, when you all was presenting the people of Jamaica money to buy their vote, Jamaica's democracy was not at risk at that time. But when the people of Jamaica decide to tell you point blank, give us some money, then you get our vote. And that's the time Jamaica's democracy is at risk. You see the hypocritical talk about this? You see how they're being hypocritical towards this? A bunch of hypocrites. Well, we the people, as I said this before, this Make We Talk program here, don't endorse vote buying. I don't believe in it. And it should not be, because your vote is not for sale. Your vote is a constitutional right to vote or not to vote. And if you believe that you need to vote, don't sell your vote, because you're selling away Jamaica. You're selling away this country bit by bit if you decide to do that. And because you people have decided to turn the coins on the Jamaican politicians, they have now come up with a plan and acting as if they are so concerned about Jamaica's democracy. They're acting as if they're so concerned about Jamaica's democracy so much that they're taking to the airways nowadays and mainstream media and begging and saying that we must save the democracy of Jamaica because the soul of Jamaica's democracy is at risk. Because the Jamaican people are asking the Jamaican politicians that if you want our vote, give us some money. But they are the one who started the vote buying in this country. And I believe this afternoon that our democracy is at risk, yes, by the politicians who started a trend in this country. And for all of us, both in Jamaica and in the diaspora, to say to the powers may be, the time has come for all of you, every single one of you, to sit down and look within yourselves and say to yourselves, many of you may not be the product of buying votes from your constituency, but your party somewhere or the other has bought vote from the Jamaican people. So you all need to stop and look into yourselves. And ask yourself the question, have I served Jamaica or the people of Jamaica well? Have I served the democracy of this country well? Have I? Have I served the people of Jamaica the way I'm supposed to serve the people of this country? I don't think we have. I personally don't think we have. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk.
I don't think we have served the people of this country well. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back. For all of us to understand what is going on, what we need to do as Jamaicans is to really take a stand and ask ourselves, have we served our people well? Both political parties has to look deep within themselves and ask the question, have we respected our Jamaican people? Or have we served our people the way that we're supposed to serve them? Have we? I don't think we have. I personally don't think that they have served these people the way they're supposed to serve them. And this evening, as news broke this morning that the People's National Party told Mr. Dennis Meadows that he has to go. The people told the Jamaica Labour, the People's National Party, told Mr. Dennis Meadows that he must pack his bags and go. We cannot have people who are supposed to be serving the Jamaican people endorsing scamming. And saying that he doesn't mind anybody chopping But you must put the money to good use. Because those people with a different color has enslaved us for many years. What on earth scamming has to do with reparation? We can't have those people serving us in this country. And when you have a man as Everald Warmington disrespecting the people of Jamaica, calling Mr. Colin Bell in Portland chink, dog, and drunkrow and barfly. And they did nothing about that. Mr. Warmington went on to disrespect the female members of parliament. He called Lisa Hanna Jezebel. He went on to disrespect the female members of the media. It begs to ask the question, does Mr. Warmington have something against the female of the parliament and the females of the media? He continues disrespecting the people of this country. When he told his party supporters that not 1 red cent of his money will be going to the PNP councillor. His money. I never know that taxpayers' money belongs to Everald Warmington and Andrew Holness or the Labour Party government. I never know that. And when he was there talking, what hurt me most of all is that the people were jumping in jubilation and say, yeah. And I'm saying to myself, are these people listening to what this man is saying? Are these people listening to what Everald Warmington is saying? Mr. Warmington is a loose cannon. Mr. Warmington has no respect, no regard for the Jamaican people, nor the Parliament of Jamaica. And I believe that the Prime Minister must do more than ask Mr. Warmington to tender his resignation. The Prime Minister must say to Mr. Warmington, at the end of this election political cycle, or administration cycle, whenever I call the election, sir, we don't want you to run on the Labour Party ticket. He may run as an independent, we don't know. And he has all right to do so. But the same way Mr. Holness administration, Mr. Holness party, Dr. Harris Strong party, the JLP, same way they told Mr. George Wright. They sacked Mr. George Wright from the membership of the Labour Party. Why they can't do the same for Everald Warmington? Are they afraid of Mr. Warmington? Why did it take Mr. Holness so long to tell Mr. Warmington enough is enough? It takes the cry of people from social media, people from mainstream media, for Mr. Holness to act on the behalf of the Jamaican people. For Mr. Holness to look into Warmington's face and say, look here, enough of you now. Go home and sit down. How can we have people like those making laws in this country? Mr. Warmington cursing expletive in the public. That's against the law. Under the Town and Community Act, I think, yes. It's against the law. And he went on to say that he will give the money to his councillor who is not elected enough. To his councillor who is not elected, he'll give taxpayers money to run the council. I think Mr. Warmington has committed another crime there. Because if you're going to give a councillor who's not elected money to run your division and deny the elected councillor, because the elected councillor is from the People's National Party. Mr. Warmington, you should not, you are not fit to sit in the Parliament of Jamaica. And for far too long, this man has continued this behavior. And I think the mainstream media in Jamaica must stop being so political and call a spade a spade. Warmington need to come out from amongst the Parliament of Jamaica. Mr. Warmington need to go home and sit down. He has no regards for the Jamaican people. He told them the other day that they must go and pee and use it for water, urinate for water. That's the person we have sitting in the Parliament who's making laws for the people of this country. The same man who's breaking the law. If those are the people we have sitting in the Parliament who is making laws for us, Warmington past retirement age. He's in the 70s. And they make law that at 65 he must retire. But them inside here until now. It's all over the globe. I see somebody write in the chat room yesterday that in the family you have a mischief maker. Yes, in any family you have a mischief maker. But in that family, that person don't put up themselves to serve the people of their country. Mr. Warmington does. Mr. Warmington, on many occasions, within the halls of the Parliament of Jamaica, disrespect his own parliamentarians. He disrespected Edmund Bartlett one time in the Parliament and come back the next time and apologize. The man has been doing this thing over and over and over again. And every time he does it, he withdraws and apologizes. Why are you apologizing, Mr. Warmington? Don't apologize for something you mean. Don't apologize for something you meant. Do not apologize for that, because you mean what you said. When you call Colin Bell in Portland chink and dog and barfly and drunk row, you meant what you said. And everybody around you cheer you. And nobody in the Parliament of Jamaica, none of your colleagues, neither on the PNP side or the JLP side, get up and say, Mr. Warmington, enough of you. Not one single soul did it. Because all of you is afraid of Everald Warmington. Because he's the bull duppy and duppy conqueror for the Parliament of Jamaica, the People's Parliament. The People's Parliament. Not Andrew Holness Parliament, nor Everald Warmington Parliament. Nor Mark Golding Parliament. Nor the Governor General Parliament. It's the People's Parliament. And we must sit down and accept this man in the Parliament disrespecting us year in and year out, day in and day out. And all they can do, Prime Minister Holness, is tell him to step aside as Minister of Works. That's all they can do. Tell him to step aside. But you can't look at him and tell him, or tell the Secretary of the Labour Party, that we must sack this man. The same way you have the nerve to say to George Wright, that you're no longer a member of the Jamaica Labour Party. Why can't you say to Everald Warmington? Why can't you say to Mr. Warmington that you're no longer a member of the Jamaica Labour Party? But what you can do is say to Mr. Warmington, Warmy, Take a resignation now. When the heat blow off, I put you back in. I guarantee you this is going to happen. I guarantee you. The Prime Minister of Jamaica call election tomorrow morning. And they win back. Warmington go back in as a minister. Because what they do, they believe the Jamaican people were such a bunch of idiots. I will talk for 9 days. When the 9 days up, they put in back Warmington. That's what exactly going to happen. And if we as the people don't continue speaking about the behaviors and the injustice of these parliamentarians towards Jamaican people, then I don't see where this country is going. And there's nobody in the parliament to stand up for the Jamaican people. Both sides of the fence is afraid of Everald Warmington. Nobody in the parliament can get up in the parliament and say, listen to me, Madam Speaker. Enough is enough of this member. Enough is enough of this member. But this member continued to go around. Campaign after campaign, no campaign and no campaign at all. To continue disrespecting the Jamaican people. That's what he continued doing. Waiting on our guests them to arrive. Robert Finzi-Smith. And Mr. Luke George Cooke. Mr. Michael Williams of the National Democratic Movement. Because we want to find out why it take Glasswell Brown nearly a week to finish counting the ballot boxes. Let's go into some news until they come on. I want you all to listen to the news that went on today. I want you all to listen to the news. Because I think hold on. Hold on for me, please. We're gonna go to the news clipping of what was said on the news today about Father Warmington, the Bull Duppy and Duppy Conqueror. The Bull Duppy and Duppy Conqueror, who the Bull Duppy and Duppy Conqueror, who believe that he is the best thing since sliced bread make for the people of Jamaica. Those are the people we have in the Parliament of Jamaica. Those are the people we want in the Parliament of Jamaica. And if you speak out against them, their followers will come onto your platform and disrespect you because of them. And their followers don't think about Jamaica. What is going on in this country? Hold on for me, please. Let me Let me get this clip in here. I don't know what's going on with the audio system on this thing here. But let me figure out something here. Let me get this and get it to work that you all can hear what Brother Warmington said. I do it this way. Bear with me, please. Don't go anywhere. We're trying to get this thing up and going that you all can listen to it. Thieving some news from nationwide. Okay. Let's see if we can get it now.
Now to the details. The minister in charge of the works portfolio, Everald Warmington, has been sacked. Mr. Warmington, the firebrand MP for Southwest St. Catherine, was fired by Prime Minister Andrew Holness following a meeting at Jamaica House on Thursday afternoon. Chevron Campbell tells us more.
Those are the words, each one almost like a nail, that Everald Warmington effectively drove into his own coffin as a member of Andrew Holness's cabinet. In that clip, he was telling Labourites that he would shut off resources to Dr. Kurt Wall, the man from the PNP who had beaten the JLP candidate.
All right, let's start that story again. The minister in charge of the works portfolio, Everald Warmington, has been sacked. Mr. Warmington, the firebrand MP for Southwest St. Catherine, was fired by Prime Minister Andrew Holness following a meeting at Jamaica House on Thursday afternoon.
In charge of stuff. Okay? Listen right now, I'm a minister of work. I'm a member of parliament. No PNP council going to spend their money.
Those are the words, each one almost like a nail, that Everald Warmington effectively drove into his own coffin as a member of Andrew Holness's cabinet. In that clip, he was telling Labourites he would shut off resources to Dr. Kurt Wall, the man from the PNP who had beaten the JLP candidate Lloyd Grant in the Old Harbour South seat in Monday's local government elections. Those words, which came at the end of what proved to be a bruising night for the ruling JLP, were widely condemned, and despite an apology and a withdrawal of the offending words communicated via a statement to the press on Wednesday evening, Warmington, the Don in Southwest St. Catherine for the last 22 consecutive years, has been booted from the executive. In a statement on Thursday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says he met with Mr. Warmington, the minister without portfolio, in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. The Prime Minister says at the end of the meeting he received Mr. Warmington's resignation from the cabinet. In the brief statement of 51 words over 2 sentences, the Prime Minister says he thanked Mr. Warmington for his service, with Warmington expressing his gratitude for the opportunity to serve. Warmington has survived numerous calls for him to be sacked by the 3 prime ministers he has served, Edward Seaga, Bruce Golding, and Andrew Holness. This was due to his acidic tongue and quick temper. He has served Southwest St. Catherine as MP for a combined 31 years, when you put his tenure from 1980 to 89 together with his service from 2002 until now. But it seems the man with the shortest fuse in Parliament, a man beloved by the majority of his constituents, has given his Prime Minister one headache too many.
Meanwhile, PNP President Mark Golding has fired Dennis Meadows as the party's caretaker for Northern Trelawney. The move follows controversial comments by Meadows in which he endorsed the illegal activity of scamming. A video of Meadows' endorsement went viral on social media on Wednesday. Dennis Meadows has since withdrawn the comments, which drew a strong rebuke from the party's General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell on Wednesday. But the PNP president has now gone a step further by ousting Meadows from representing the party in the constituency won by the JLP's Tova Hamilton in 2020. In the PNP statement, Mark Golding described Mr. Meadows' comments as egregious. According to the opposition leader, the comments are unacceptable, as scamming is one of Jamaica's most serious national security challenges.
The Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ, has now completed the official.
Let us stop there. My good friend Robert Finzi-Smith has joined us.
My lord.
Welcome to the program, Robbie.
Thank you.
Your
I am
views
with
on
you
what?
until approximately 8:15.
Pardon me?
I am with you until approximately 8:15.
Thank you. What is your views on what is going on with Dennis Meadows, Everald Warmington, and now two MPs are talking about the constituency members are saying to them they must give them money to vote for them. Your views on it? The Prime Minister tell Warmington to go, Mark Golden tell Meadows to go. That's Meadows there. Tell him to go. This is the letter that the PNP send out. Of the People's National Party, Mark Golden announced that Mr. Dennis Meadows has been removed as a party standard bearer for the North Trelawney seat. And then,
considering the utterances that he made publicly, are you surprised?
No, because on this program last night, we on no uncircumstantial and on no uncertain terms said to the party leader, the opposition leader of Jamaica, this man is endorsing scamming. He cannot be sitting in the Parliament of Jamaica.
Not even so much the Parliament of Jamaica. He cannot be sitting in a party that is serious about law and order.
Thank you.
It is unfortunate, but you never know how far you can go till you're done gone too far.
My God.
So, I wish Mr. Meadows all the best. But
did you see the video circulating on social media, Mr. Finzi-Smith?
See what?
Did you see the video, Mr. Meadows, circulating on social media?
No. What was that?
Listen to it.
And I speak to the youth man them for the corner, you know. Especially one who call themselves Chopper. Let me tell you straight up. And he can speak openly. I have no problem with a man if he want chop. Because them chop us during slavery. So nothing wrong if we chop them back. My only problem with the chopping is when you bingo and you score. Use the money wisely.
Yes.
Set up yourself.
Yes.
Open a business.
Yes.
Make sure mommy look good.
Yes.
Make sure your baby mother look good.
Yes.
But don't take the money and use energy and wash car. And use US dollar like cigarette.
Alright.
Full business that.
True.
There's a reason why money is called liquidity.
Yes.
It's liquid. And if you don't tie it on your hand, it leak out your hand no matter what you have.
Yes.
So nothing wrong with what you do.
No, tell me something. You hear what he said? Nothing is wrong with the Jamaican people, young men, scamming people. This man is a former senator, a Jamaican citizen who is vying for political office.
Former deputy chairman of the FLA.
There you go. There's nothing wrong with scamming.
In law, you know, my limited knowledge thereof, Mr. Meadows made himself an accessory after the fact.
So is it that Mr. Meadows is telling the police authority that he's scamming?
I don't know. I would never go there. I'm just simply saying that if you are scamming and I know and I tell you I have no problem with it, I've endorsed your scamming, which makes me an accessory after the fact. Or maybe even before the fact.
I am wondering Is this the Jamaica that talk about Finzi-Smith for 2030 vision?
Tell you something. I grew up with two parents who made us feel that one of the greatest sins on earth would be to do anything to disgrace the family.
Hmm.
And my father, in his utmost wisdom, God rest his beautiful soul, had a number of things to say to me. And he used to say, Master, I see going in one ear and coming out the other.
Yes.
Little did he know that it stuck. And one of the things it stuck, it said to me, God in his ultimate wisdom gave you 2 eyes, 2 ears, but 1 mouth. So he wanted you to see and hear twice as much as you chat. We now have made Jamaica one big dancehall stage. So we say and do everything for a forward. Because I can't help but think that Mr. Meadows may have, on a political platform, attempted to get a forward. And all he did was forward him out of the party.
You know, you're not the first person who said that to me, that it seems like he was doing a dub plate. You Robert?
So what?
That he was doing a dub plate. One of those dub. There's nothing wrong with chopper. As soon as if you chop them, you make sure you put the money to good use.
Yeah.
He was doing a dub plate, man.
The lady in Arkansas or in Florida of advanced age that have lost her life savings and can't pay for her medication and going to lose our house. It's okay as long as you put the money to good use.
Being said by a former Jamaican senator, a former chairman of the Firearm Licensing Authority of Jamaica. How do you think the United States State Department look at Jamaica now?
It's not Jamaica, you know. They're looking at
that
the individual.
Yes, and the individual.
And he needs to be careful. Don't want to put ideas in anybody's head. But the United States government had to say, oh, so you are endorsing this kind of behavior?
Yes.
Look in the records there. Does this man have a visa? So if I were him, I wouldn't be surprised if they came for it, if he has one. But I commend the leader of the opposition.
Yes.
In the rapidity, without seemingly any urging.
Yes.
That he took steps to distance himself and his party from that kind of utterance.
Yes. That's very good. He has a right to distance himself, because if he didn't distance himself from such utterance, then the Jamaican people will come down on him.
Yeah. And my thing is, he now seems to have set a standard for lack of tolerance for certain behavior.
Yes.
Because there are people already saying that in all the other utterances and behavior patterns outside of decency that Mr. Warmington has committed, there was no hint of punitive action anywhere. But I believe that because the leader of the opposition took such rapid steps without any whole of fanfare to distance himself and his party from that kind of behavior, that any hesitancy on the part of the Prime Minister would have been viewed with alarm, and questions would be asked as to what secret Mr. Warmington have for them.
That's a good question, you know, because people have been saying that in Finzi-Smith.
I don't know.
Jamaicans from all walks of life have been
I
saying
can
it.
only say that I think Mr. Warmington's association with institution
Oh.
of secret behavior
A
seems to have given him
lot of power.
enthusiastic license to say
Yeah.
anything because man is a grandmaster. You step aside now
Yes.
and may feel that this has made him omnipotent.
Oh. For
I
him to
sit
behave
with
in,
bated breath, waiting on Mr. Warmington, who is full of braggadocious behavior, to see what he says, now that he has been brought out of the tree.
yes.
I think all literature students would understand what I mean when I say, oh, how low hath the mighty fallen.
Mm.
So his behavior from now on will be instructive. And there are other posts I believe he may hold within the Labour Party that if he's not asked to relinquish those, could reduce this removal to a slap on the wrist.
And that's what I believe that they will not ask him to relinquish those positions that he holds. Because, as what you said, he's the grand master of everything, you know.
Well, after certain behavior patterns, reportedly, I am now convinced more than ever that we as a nation could never be homophobic. Why are you laughing, Jeffrey?
I just listen to you, Finzi-Smith. I ain't gonna say nothing.
And let me not say anything more on that subject.
Please. Because people may think, you know, let us switch to the whole thing of the Electoral Office of Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
No,
play this.
I look at things in simple matter. I'm not a big professor.
Yes.
So help me out. When a general election is called, it has all the various divisions,
Yes.
all the various parishes,
Yes.
and quite a number of voters if they turn out. But in most general elections that I know of, the final count is usually within a day
There you go.
of the voting. What has made this election of a local government setup with far less voters than you would have imagined a general election would bring out? What is taking so long for you to come to a final figure? Which brings me, and I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I don't want me or you to get sued. And I'm not saying anything alleged. I'm saying it straight as it is. The truth don't need no rehearsal. It is said that liars figure, but figures don't lie.
Indeed.
So why you take so long for a simple number of voters to calculate who did what?
It's
And then
29% of Jamaica.
You backtrack to, the most damning to me. If you're looking for what you call, what's the terminology? Conspiracy theorists. You have just given them one hell of a platform to sing off of. When initially is 2020. Then the departing mayor say is 2119. Then it kept going back and forth. Then they say it's 2020, but the popular vote will decide. Then when you hear from the shout, it was an outright victory for the opposition. And the member of parliament for a particular area within which the seemingly deciding votes were cast arrives at the EOJ.
Repeat what you said a while
And
ago.
is not pleased at all.
Repeat what you said a while ago.
The KCC examination,
Yes.
the center. Didn't the Speaker of the House arrive there?
That
On what basis?
because they moved the counting of our constituency up to there. They move the Speaker of the House,
Yes,
who is the wife of the Prime Minister of Jamaica,
yes.
constituencies, election ballot boxes, if I'm saying it correctly, to the Electoral Office of Jamaica.
Yes. To the
And
best
she
of my
arrived.
knowledge.
Huh?
To the best of my knowledge.
Yes. And she arrived there fuming.
On what basis?
Good question.
Was she appointed an observer?
I don't think so.
Was anyone of the same status from the opposition present?
I don't think so.
And there are reports of what you'd call it now.
Election fraud?
No. Visible despair at the result.
Oh. You know,
You follow what I'm saying to you?
yes, I understand what you're saying. And I hope our viewers understand exactly what you're saying.
So now, it appears that this was not the anticipated result, which I think segues me into the next thing you're about to try and get me into trouble in by about the purchasing of votes.
Yes.
Is it possible that somebody name them out and vote them out?
It's a possibility that the Jamaican people up in that area decide to just name them out and vote them out. Name and vote, name and out.
Or maybe not enough fertilizer. Well, it's not an agricultural area, is it?
Well, no, it's not really an agricultural area.
But think about it, Master. When you start giving fertilizers for political support, and politics has really gone to shit.
Indeed. Because when you hear two sitting members of parliament of the people of the Jamaica Labour Party saying on Nationwide, the minister, the Constitutional Affairs Minister, former Attorney General of Jamaica, Marlene Malahou Ford, a former High Court judge, and Juliet Cuthbert Flynn is telling the people of Jamaica that her constituency, both constituency, approach the both members of parliament and say to them, the people in the constituency say to them, Madam MP, if you don't give me a nanny and so forth, you're not get no vote for we, And the question I want to ask tonight, Finzi-Smith, you could be my dad. This vote buying in this country has been going on for many years. And it's now these two parliamentarians is saying that Jamaica's democracy is at risk. Such hypocrisy.
And not enough voters came out to make buying that expensive a problem.
29% of Jamaicans came out. It was 2 million people eligible to vote. 29%, that's 500,000 people.
Yep. What's more interesting, how many of those votes did the opposition get?
Good question. But Finzi-Smith, when you look at it,
Say it again?
But when you look at it, when you look at all of this, are you hearing me?
What I'm seeing in my mind,
yes.
I think you and I had this conversation either privately or otherwise.
Yes.
I've seen the situation once before in the 90s.
Yes.
When people sat down and didn't protest, didn't block road, never said nothing, and went to the ballot box, dip them finger, mark them X, and move. And overwhelmingly rejected the government of the day.
That was the People's National Party back in the days under PJ Patterson.
Overwhelmingly rejected Mr. Siaga. That was the election when Mr. Siaga made the famous comment. If I don't win this election, God is sleeping.
And he did not win it.
Remember that?
Yes, I remember.
Okay. And he touted all of his achievements up to that point in time, inclusive of the recovery from Gilbert. But unfortunately, within the same time frame, United States government, through spokespeople, attributed the title of the conman of the Caribbean to Mr. Siaga.
Wow. Why did they do that?
I think it had something to do with funds that were allocated that were not properly utilized.
My God. So he was referred to by the American government, the people up north,
as the conman of the Caribbean.
As the conman of the Caribbean.
It is in. It's not my statement. It is in print.
It is short. It is short from them saying the pirate of the Caribbean.
Well, pirates mean you would have had to board the ship and take it, but they convinced the captain to hand it to them.
Dear God.
Also bear in mind the party affiliations of the persons who say that people have come to them and said, give me some money if you want me to vote for you. Could be an excuse to say why they didn't do as well in their areas as they were expected to. I didn't pay the money, so I didn't get the honey. But I think Jamaica has reached a point where life is so hard, bread is $500 a loaf. They will take it. But you're not standing behind the screen with them when they mark them X.
So in other words, Finzi-Smith, they have been calling the Jamaican people for many years.
Pushing and now the table has turned.
I find this very funny. The Jamaican people decide that they're not going to sit down and allow you people to tell us any stupidness anymore and pushing money when we must go vote. We not can you now. If you don't get the money, we not vote. Listen to me. I don't endorse vote selling and vote buying. I don't endorse it.
Neither do I.
But the Jamaican people have said enough is enough with these two political parties. And let me make something clear tonight. I don't believe that is every politician involved in vote buying. I don't believe that because you have some honorable politicians in there. There are some honorable men and women in there. But their party has been involved in some skullduggery for many years by buying vote.
And if it's not in cash, it's in favor.
Yes.
So now, let us look back at a little bit of history, not too far.
Yes.
A young, vibrant politician with very far-reaching ideas as to how to make his constituents prosperous, pardon the French,
Yes.
but self-reliant, get voted out because him not play the game. I hear you. You going to teach my children. You going to make my children pass subjects, and but want some zinc for my roof. Because some people beg zinc for roof so them can sell the zinc.
I know.
Okay. So he goes elsewhere and says to them, why don't you raise some goats? Works out the entire mathematical equation of how it can work for them.
Mm-hmm.
And them give him all kind of name, goat man, this type of thing.
Mm-hmm. You're speaking as Damon Crawford.
I never call the name. And then them use cash and push it one side. And even though they push them one side using the cash, he still got more votes than previous people. Remember that? So, young man must have been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been. And he was going to stay amongst them, but he couldn't bring himself to face them, knowing what he tried to do, and they rejected it. So he took his idea and go to St. Mary. I've one hell of a goat farm up there.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I don't understand though, Robert Finzi-Smith? Why when a young person enter politics and they come with new ideas, those old people inside there who believe that they're chairman for life.
Leave Mr. Pickersgill alone.
I didn't call any names, sir.
I did.
Why do they believe that they can't take the ideas? And why is it that the parties always want to say, no, you can't do it your way, do it our way, or is the highway?
Because you stay ahead of a train by making sure it don't have the tracks to run on. And you don't want to be regulated from the train driver to the conductor.
Pretty interesting. Interesting.
You see, people have been trying to make a joint accusation of the two political parties.
Mm-hmm.
It is my humble opinion that the PNP is not without sin.
Yes.
But I'm going to tell you what I think the sin in the PNP is.
Mm-hmm.
Self-aggrandizement of later times.
Mm.
Where they may not necessarily be dishonest, but they like position. And you have some youngsters who want to big up their choice for leaders and this and that because they believe if that person in charge, me good.
Oh.
You don't want to make your thing for yourself. I'm going to hang on this person coattail and praise them all I want and push and say, go. Because I can say, I am with them. There are some people in the People's National Party, not so much of late, who were so firmly affixed to leaders' posteriors that if the leader ever stopped suddenly, they would be nose deep in ass cheeks. And if somebody else comes along who wishes to take up leadership, they fight them tooth and nail and find all kind of things to say about them to maintain their position in the queue.
Oh.
There are bloggers who shall remain nameless, who came to prominence trying to do work for the PNP. But not the PNP, but the people in the PNP that they thought would bring them aggrandizement.
Mm.
I'm going, it's Jeffrey Tavares. Good man, you know. Excellent man. Jeffrey, this way you get Prime Minister. I wouldn't mind being on a couple of boards, you know. I will serve. I would take the normal pay, you know. What you say, about 4 or 5 boards, yeah, man, I can do that. And I can do 2 boards and become a senator, you know. What do you think? And if Jeffrey ever make the mistake and say, I think I can do that, then we just go straight and say, the best person for this country at the moment is Jeffrey Tavares.
Oh.
And anybody that's saying no, I run down the place looking for everything I can find to yam them food, to make sure them word don't mean nothing. Now, on the other side of the fence, they have never been shy about speaking of their capitalistic tendencies. So whether it works or not is dependent on how much money can be made from it. Tourism is our largest thing. Has it ever occurred to anybody that the money from the hotels don't stay here, it goes abroad?
I know that.
It's a sleight of hand.
Yes, because Seaga signed something in the 1980s pertaining to that.
Yes. Now, speak not ill of the dead, but a great deal of our farmers went out of business, so to speak, when a certain hotel used to pay them at the kitchen door and then started saying, I pay in 2 weeks. I pay you in a month's time.
Mm-hmm.
And that elasticized till it got to the point where it was unmanageable as a debt.
Mm-hmm.
And if you talk too much, you can't service nowhere else. I know of a meat packing industry, used to be based in Ocho Rios, who took up a case against a particular hotel and won. And it was spread around Jamaica that anybody who did business with him couldn't do business with me. So they effectively shut down the place.
Mm-mm.
People
And yet,
all the while and ask me why I don't go into politics. My answer to that is very simple. I can swim. I can swim well. I'm a trained scuba diver. But because I can swim, don't mean I must try and cross a cesspool pond. Because when I come out there, then I will still smell a little musty there.
but Robert Finzi-Smith. And yet, you know what I realize? What I realize in this country is you see people who oppress the Jamaican people, they give them all of old donkey and all of old jackass.
Yes.
Those are the people that award national awards to, you know.
Yes. I can tell you something that you may or may not know. Our national hero, Sir Alexander Bustamante.
Yes.
Was a usurer.
A what?
A usurer.
On a ship?
No. Usurer is a term used for a Jewish moneylender.
Oh, yes.
And you know how I know that?
Tell me.
My mother, God rest her soul, at a 16-year-old girl, used to work with a law firm. Part of her duties was going up to the Supreme Court and checking the book to see if any of the clients of the law firm were in there. It was like a credit bureau. And the majority of people owed money to one person.
Alexander Bustamante.
Alexander Bustamante. Same person who tell you saltfish better than education because education can't yam. So vote for me and me give you saltfish for shingle roof. And as ridiculous as that promise was, we in today's Jamaica are still giving promises equated to that buffoonery. And why I don't find myself happy is that with the advent of cell phones and all the rest, youngsters have access to Google.
And they will never Google their
everything
history.
else but what they're supposed to know.
It's same way, you know. And I know some people on this platform know some disrespect, but I don't. It's same way on this platform here, you know. They will not go on Google and Google anything we tell them to Google. They'll come over and discuss us, we are dirty liberty and dirty PNP. And if you tell them to go on Google and Google donor funds into Jamaica, Google donor funds coming to Jamaica during the COVID-19, Google how much money Jamaica got for loan and grants and gift during the COVID-19 situation. They won't do it. But when you speak about what is going on in Jamaica and then what the money got gone missing during the coronavirus issue, they vex with you and they start cuss you.
But they have not learned the reason why hearsay is not admissible in court.
There you go.
I sit down and when I hear people say, no better herring, no better barrel, I shake my head. I said, the devil's greatest deception was to convince believers that he didn't exist.
True.
So when you can convince people in a country that the majority of institutions they currently take for granted was built by one party above and beyond the objections of another, it distresses me when I tell people some things that I know. Not somebody come tell me, I know. And them say, you lie. That happened? In 10 years' time, I hope I'm alive to see it. Somebody went tell somebody, say a prime minister aspirant once told people he intended to make them sleep with them doors and windows open. And then when they say you lie, nobody with them correct mind could tell you that.
And the same prime minister tell the people in Trelawney or St. Ann that he's gonna make a certain place Silicon Valley. Oh God Almighty, dear God! These politicians, the man campaigning around Jamaica, tell a certain community in St. Anne's or wherever that he's gonna make that area the Silicon Valley of Jamaica. And he told another one that he's going to make that area Little Miami.
Yep. I know where he got the idea. You ever fly into Kingston and fly over Portmore?
Yes.
When you look down, it's like coming up to West Pine. But here's the problem now. That design was done by Matalan in conjunction with the PNP. With the whole heap of canals back here and there, yeah. But the history, not his story, the history will make you wonder, how could we have done that? When the British took over Jamaica, they refused to use Spanish Town as the capital because no, Spanish built this as capital. I must take it. Hell no. So they moved a little further east, past somewhere called Bernard Lodge and thing go down,
Yes.
and built something called Kingstown.
Oh.
And I'm not too certain whether it was a tidal wave or an earthquake, but Kingstown sank.
Mm.
Then they moved across the harbor
To Port
and
Royal.
established Kingston.
Oh, Kingston. Okay. So hold on there, Doc. Hold on for a minute, Sir Finzi-Smith. Port Royal is different from Kingston.
Port Royal, as it was
Yes.
a large thing. Much, much bigger than you see now.
Hmm.
Across the harbor from Port Royal was lands. And on those lands was developed Kingston. What you now know as a palisade or strip was made because they used to have little islands, mangrove islands, palisades.
Okay.
Water from the big seaside used to come through it.
Moving to the other
And that's why
side.
the harbor was so fresh and clean and deep. Open sea would come through these, go back out, go down by Port Royal and flush out.
Hmm.
The water was crystal clear. Now, time has conspired to put me in places that I never planned to be. My ex-wife's father, brilliant young gentleman,
Yes.
called Fisher, Lenny Fisher,
I heard that name
was
before.
a senior automatician
Yes.
with John Cooke.
With John Cooke.
And he, very adventurous fellow,
Yes.
took some people with some planks and laid the planks between the palisades while he drove a Model T Ford across them. He's the first person to have driven from Harbour Head to Port Royal. Right fellas that we are, people now dumped up the palisades. And on that they created a road.
To the normal man, the airport.
Which is why, no, the airport wasn't even in concept. Which is why they used to have these groins going out into the sea on the open seaside.
Yeah.
Apart from ships coming there or not, it would break up the water coming to the palisades. And then what happened now is that a bright person just made this solid, whereas what they could have done was put like 2 sets of bridges, which would have allowed the water come in and go out the same way. But having stopped that, the harbor became stagnant, so to speak.
Hmm.
You ever hear somebody say, no road work in Jamaica should last over 5 years?
Yeah, I think I heard you with it already.
A very big, prominent gentleman who does construction said that, as far as I'm concerned, if he builds something last more than 5 years, it's not profitable to him.
In the what?
It's not profitable to him.
Hmm.
So when you build a road last 15 years, the one money them when pay to do that, that's it. You can't get no repairs and upgrades.
Oh.
And everything.
So that is why nowadays they give these wannabe contractors to build the roads. And they build the roads to little and nothing. And the road mash up in how many months? And they go back over it again.
And then
Because-
when people ball too much, you get the Chinese.
Yes. Let me ask you this question, Robert Finzi-Smith, Major Smith. Based on all of what you see going on in Jamaica, based on the whole idea, you grew up and you hear about vote buying and all sorts of shebangara.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think it's too late for these politicians to be talking about Jamaica's democracy?
Jamaica what?
Democracy.
Democracy is still, it's like democracy in Jamaica is like chivalry. It's wounded, but it's not yet dead. The results of the last election here, if it says nothing else, it says that. It's wounded, but not yet dead. Now, forgive me, I keep referring to my parents.
Go ahead, man.
My mother used to say, man was not created equal. If we are created equal, all of us could run 100 in 9.5 years. But man must be given equal opportunity. You can give a youngster in Trenchtown or Tivoli or whatever the same opportunity as a youngster out of Norbrook or Beverly Hills or whatever. And the one from Norbrook or Beverly Hills, piss it away. And the one from downtown, make the most of it. Happen all the while. But the problem is, you don't have enough opportunity. You keep people from below a certain geographical location so busy concentrating on when them going to eat and how them can stop the roof from leaking that they don't have time to aspire to anything else but to get as far away from that as possible. They have occurred to you that people downtown are in what you call the inner city areas. They make money, you know. Whether by foul or fair means. But do they use it to build up where them grow up? No. As you blink, them gone. Forget totally the best they can. They try and forget where them come from. I was born 11B Deanery Avenue, Vineyard Town. Backbush and McGregor Gully was my playground. I still own 66A Deanery Road. My children, my last 3 children, went to St. Teresa Prep. I was the head of the Parent Teacher Association for a while. So every bloody day I went through where I grew up. And at a certain time, any young lady that wished to have Congress with me had to know where I came from. We are so busy trying to forget where we came from that we don't know where we're going. When they get up and tell me the sleight of hand tricks, oh, we're going to become a republic. Male cow fecal matter.
Hold on for me, Finzi-Smith. Hold on for me. I have joining us now Mr. Michael Williams, chairman of the National Democratic Movement. Michael, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, sir. I joined late. I'm very sorry. I
That's
had
okay,
an
man.
emergency at 7:15. I had an emergency. And
That's okay.
I had to deal with it.
That's
so
okay.
I'm very sorry to be late, sir.
That
But
was okay.
I enjoyed hearing Major Robert.
Yes, let us listen to what Major is saying, because I think Major gonna leave us anytime soon.
I don't want to get you in trouble, Michael, so I'm going to keep it down to a level. But I know that you used to trouble. Michael is one of the few Jamaicans that whether you like what him say or not, him say it as long as he's convinced it's the truth. So
yes.
Now let me just tell you what I look forward to if it will ever happen. We need to start teaching Marcus Garvey in schools. From prep school,
100%.
primary school comes straight up. You know why they haven't done it in the past? It might convince some underprivileged, dark skin color picnics to believe that them can be somebody. No. We need to stop teaching management. We need to start teaching ownership. Stop telling your children, go to school, get an education, get a qualification, and get a job. The hell with that. Go to school, get an education, get a qualification, and own something. When you put into people's minds that they are to own something, we're a very entrepreneurial people, you know. Why do you think people are chop line? When they held on to people in the States and said they're the posse, you know what the FBI said? They are as organized, if not more, than Fortune 500 companies. Some of them people barely made it out of primary school. So it's not that we don't have the know-how. We just need the opportunity. When people walk around with Mr. Siaga and say, oh, downtown estates, we never dreamed people live like this. The way I think your helpers was coming from. We have managed to mentally draw a curtain between us up here and them down there and them over there. And the other thing is that we as a country are missing a middle class. You have the underprivileged. The leap from underprivileged to privileged is so large that you cannot make that jump without illegalities.
And you know something, Robert Finzi-Smith and Michael Williams, I kept saying to Jamaicans, even my good friend Dudley Thompson, journalist at Roots FM, founder at Roots FM, I said, listen to me. There's no middle class in Jamaica. It's poor and rich. And that's it. There's no middle class in this country.
So where do the poor aspire to with any hope of achieving? Middle class. And then the middle class, next generation, steps to the privileged. But where we must do that is that the type of work that you can take to reach each step gives you an appreciation of what it means. Right now, no matter how me get my money, as long as me get my money, it don't matter. I keep telling people, I am saying to myself, I have 6 children, 3 boys, 3 girls. And I've done my very best to tell them all principle, decency, honesty. I now feel that I may have put them at a disadvantage.
Why you say that?
Because they're growing up in a society that look on them like big head bud. We don't own anything. And we say, you know, people don't destroy what they own. You ever heard of the company store?
No.
Slavery times, when slavery was moving out. And the free individuals still working around the plantation for a pittance. Sound familiar? And then them go and they pick up a little flour and then pick up a little bale of cloth and them sign for it. End of month or payday, when you come and you say, hey, the man looking at him book. I say, well, it look like you owe me, you know. Because it add up. But when you're taking these things, you never thought of it. You know, gone with the saltfish, gone with this, gone with that. It still exists today.
Oh, yes.
In certain places that give you a higher purchase. You walk out with your TV, your this, your that, your couch, your that. Nothing down. But at the end of the day, if you manage to finish it all, you pay 3 times what the item has cost.
Yes.
But we gravitate to a bling society. I don't care what it will cost my future generation as long as I have a 50-inch TV. I don't care whether or not I own a house as long as I drive to what I rent in a fancy car.
Mm.
I have a thing for European cars. And a salesman called me once and said, Major, I know you like Jaguars. So I said, yeah. Because I have parking in the garage down the bottom of the land. This, Michael, this will interest you. A 1972 XJ6 Jaguar.
Wow.
Right now?
Right now, as we speak.
Wow. That's an antique.
Interior is calf leather and wood.
Wow.
So the man called me and said, we have a Jaguar, you know. So I said, when I went down, I said, well, in the first place, that's a Jaguar, because the engine is a Ford. But I'm missing out. So I walking around the time, say, it's a steal, you know, Major, 15 million. I said, really? So I walk around tomorrow, open the door, them look, him say, what you looking for, sir? I said, the bathroom. Because if me going to pay 15 million for a car,
it must be a house.
It must have a bathroom. And me can, at the time, me could have buy a 1-bedroom apartment for that.
Yes.
Which would appreciate. But the minute I drive that off of the lot, it started to depreciate.
25%.
Again, get plenty girl and plenty admiration if I'm driving up the road in that. You understand the mentality?
Anyway,
but
Major,
we wonder why we as a society have lack of morals. You have, and politicians from both sides have contributed to it. I have 40 votes in that yard. Can you imagine the type of living conditions that must exist?
Yes.
To have 40 people of voting age living in that space?
Yes. Well, let me tell you something.
It's a breeding ground for conflict. Children are going to grow up before they should. People are going to find themselves engaged in sexual intercourse with children. And children not even when think there's anything wrong with it because I'm sleeping in the same room where it happens every night.
Mm.
Well, let me tell you something, Major. The reason for this go back to 1944. From that time, we have adult suffrage, and JLP and PNP has been in power. And they do nothing to improve the educational system. All them do is pay teachers money. Not even a lot of money either. Them pay them money. But nothing. You said Major talk about Marcus Garvey School. Neither the JLP or the PNP want to teach Marcus Garvey School because Marcus Garvey in school would enlighten the children. And I want to keep them dark. The last statistics out of the Ministry of Education, them don't publish.
Can't.
2023, June, 30% can go to university. Not even 30, 25% can go to university. Have the educational qualifications to go to university. I should say that. The other
let me tell you something, Mike. Not cutting you. When I was up at UTech as the senior director in charge of safety and security, there was an altercation in the library. And a witness to it was a fourth-year student. Hear me carefully. A fourth-year student who wrote a report on the incident and spelt angry, not once, not twice, but thrice. H-A-N-G-R-Y. Months away from graduation. Now, my problem, and I hear what you're saying, my problem is Norman Washington Manley brought in common entrance and said, go. Soak up a whole heap of uptown people because it's mean that certain people could go to certain schools with them. But the fees were still a problem. Michael got add fuel to fire by saying it's free. Everybody can go. And same time him say, no Boston not there again. Which means the man's picnic and him helper picnic, who is his picnic, can go to the same school and can use him name. So now him have to budget for inheritance for more than him anticipated. What can we do? We just need to keep them, as you quite rightly put it, in the dark. So having access to it, don't measure what you're getting access to. Why did we stop teaching civics in school? And your man get up and say, I'm going to make a job description for ministers. You don't need that. Teach civics.
Hold on there, gentlemen. Michael, I want you to tell us your opinion on the whole Warmington and Meadows issue and also the election, because people are asking in the chat here. Robert, Finzi-Smith, and Michael, can you tell us who really won the election?
All right. With all intents and purposes, the PNP won the election. No matter how you want to go around it, the PNP won the election. Right now, we have 14 parishes, but one parish is 2 KSAMC. And you have St. Catherine, which is 1 parish, and Portmore is part of St. Catherine right now. Right? So the JLP won 7 divisions. And they did not win neither St. Catherine or Portmore. And they lost KSAC. So statistically, if you want to count the parishes, Kingston and St. Andrew, although it is 1, it is 2 parishes.
Yes.
So you have to say it is 7-7. But with all intents and purposes, Portmore is also and St. Catherine are 2 parishes. Because the JLP has campaigned in the local government and even in the last general election that they are going to make Portmore a parish. So, and they have their own mayor. So if you want to count it by parish, PNP won Kingston and St. Andrew. It's 1 mayor, but it's 2 parish. St. Catherine is 1 parish and a parish to come. So anyway you want to take it, the PNP got the most votes in the country, if you want to take it by votes. But, so in my opinion, it is the PNP that won this election. Right? The JLP is saying that St. Catherine is 1, so it must count as 1. And KSAC is 1, so it must count as 1. Right? So them have 7 and PNP have 6. But in all intents and purposes, them hiding themselves, them fooling themselves.
And as you quite rightly put it, the total of the votes,
that's right,
say exactly where it's gone.
That's right.
I put this to you too.
As a matter of fact, the total of the votes in Kingston and St. Andrew is 2020, you know, in terms of parish council divisions. It's 2020. But the total number of votes say that the PNP must be the mayor.
Oh.
Yes. It's 2020. Because Juliet Holness, was too busy hiding the thing them that in Parliament and not paying attention to Kentire, and she lose Kentire.
No, let me tell you this, Jeffrey, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Michael. Here is the problem. Anybody who live anywhere near the Alps or anything like that will tell you that some of the worst avalanches start with one little snowball around downhill.
Yes.
And by the time you realize that the snowball is now a boulder, I have great respect for Michael's political acumen, which is why I tell you, I leave myself open to be corrected or whatever. There comes a time in the affairs of men when if take not the flood leads on to greater things. The avalanche has started. And
In other words,
anybody who attempts to ignore it will lose them house. And the JLP has had a history of the night of the long knives. Somebody looking somebody to blame. You have one member of parliament with an interesting portfolio who loudly said, that can't happen, not under my watch. Moko division.
Yeah.
oh yes,
And it never occurred to them to say, when the young man switched, people in green shirts and people in orange shirts hugged up
Switch
and
with him.
danced together whilst they went to nominate him.
yeah.
That will tell you something.
Michael,
Yes, sir. Well, Robert Miller, I would just say it bluntly, he made a fool of himself.
at all
Because
times.
Not Miller, Morgan.
Morgan, sorry, that's right. This is the second time I made that mistake. It's
But the
Morgan.
other one isn't too far behind.
Well, that is true too. Well,
Oh my God.
yeah, so Robert Morgan, from long time, from when he was contesting the seat with Colonel Charles Jr., he displayed a certain amount of arrogance. And having won the seat, he has not lost the arrogance. He has not learned to be humble. And he made a lot of unkind things. He said a lot of things about that young man. And I believe, based on what he has said and done, Andrew Holness should send him back to his constituency to work and take away his portfolio.
Don't worry, it's gonna happen soon, very soon.
Question is, who him all give to?
Well, it don't matter. It don't matter who him get to. Because if him perform properly, if he talk what him say and him walk what him say, it will be a different 18 months or 15 months. And
That word if.
If.
Andrew you talking about, sir?
Yes, sir. I know what you're talking about.
Andrew you talking about.
But you see, I am convinced that Mark Golding is a sincere man.
I think so too, yes.
But Mark Golding don't make up the PNP.
No, but he now has to. You see the move he make today with Meadows?
That's an easy move.
Yeah, I'm now saying
Meadows,
to duplicate that in other places.
You know Meadows' history already. Him should never even take him into that party. Meadows have a history. And I won't discuss the history here. But anybody that wants to look, let's go to FLA and look. And his history.
But I don't know if you heard when I said him to Jeffrey earlier. Too many youngsters and not so youngsters have spent time in the People's National Party self-aggrandizing.
Well,
they forgot what the party, when it started, wasn't a party, it was a movement. And movements have to have a direction. And you have some youngsters who think that driving per hero and having driver and sitting in them office, they have arrived. And they don't understand that minister means servant.
Not in Jamaica.
Wrong.
Not in Jamaica. that don't have the same meaning as England.
Let me ask you this question, Michael Williams. Do you believe, in all this going on now, that the director of election should step aside?
No. Director of elections did a good job and he played safe because all those boxes that him recount, he make sure them count them properly. I will tell you this. Have you heard of any election that going to magisterial recount yet?
No.
Okay. That means the director of elections counted the boxes properly. If it take time to count them, it take time to count them. The boxes, the KSAC boxes, the ones that are in Kentire, them couldn't count them up there. They had to move them to the electoral office of Jamaica, where they have good control.
Look, but hold on there. Why I ask the question, Sir Williams, is 29% of the people vote. It is 2 million Jamaicans eligible to vote.
Yes.
29% is 500,000 people.
Yeah.
It takes them so long to count the ballot boxes, Mr. Williams.
If you count them carefully, it take time.
Let me help you out, Jeffrey.
Yes.
I have no reason to be endeared to the director of election. But I have sympathy when people get caught between a rock and a hard place. I cannot appear to not be sympathetic to the people who hire me. But I cannot appear to be unsympathetic to the people I serve. The middle ground is to cross every T and dot every I at least twice.
That's right.
So you cannot call me on negligence, but I'm guaranteeing you that his time in the position may have a little, time may creep up on their togetherness. Because there are certain people who would have anticipated corners being cut that were not.
All right. Michael Williams and Robert Finzi-Smith. At any time in your history, living in Jamaica, an election call, have you ever seen Michael Norman Manley, Michael Norman Joshua Manley, Edward George Philip Siaga announcing the election result and say they win?
No.
Look here. It is that has to happen. Yeah. Golden had a lot of hurdles to cover. Right? And Holiness have something to defend. But they believe that they are talking to the 70% who can read and write. Because them design the system that way.
Then you have people who are attempting now to feather nests elsewhere because they sense the branch that this one is on is crumbling.
Well,
calling elections.
Look here, a lot of things going to happen in the next 18 months.
Yes.
Right? A lot of things going to happen.
Yeah.
So don't I'm not writing off anybody. But I am pushing certain agendas. One of the agendas is we need to educate the Jamaican people. We are not educating the people.
18 months not going to do it.
No. But right now, we start to educate our children. The formal education system in Jamaica begin at 5.5.
Yes.
I want to change that to 3 years old. I want them to fund every basic school in this country. Right? Them don't have to call them basic school. Them can call them infant school, or them can call them anything. But them have to start to fund those children from young so that they can learn 3 things: reading, reasoning, and respect. The real 3 R's.
But I agree with you, Mr. Williams.
Yes.
But if the leaders who formulate laws in this country has no respect for the Jamaican people, sir.
Well, that's the second thing I'm coming to know. We want to change the constitution where right now Parliament is sovereign.
So how we need this changing names
That's right. And
and
what we do
titles?
now, what Malahu Fort has been going around the island is a face card because the JLP and PNP don't decide already that the Governor General is going to become an appointed president. That's all we're going to do.
They
That's
do
all
not
we're
have
going
my
to do,
support. And I
right?
will become loud about it.
So we want to change the constitution to get changed. We want an elected prime minister with all the people voting for that person. We're calling for that. And I believe a lot of the Jamaican people want that.
I have to run, but Michael, I have to leave you with this. When the NDM was first formed, with a lot of very bright minds in there, do you remember the thrust towards not quite constitutional, what you call it, republic or whatever, but the thrust towards adjusting the system to be fair to all?
Yes, of course. And we still believe that.
There are certain things, Jeffrey, I have to leave Michael to inform you, but there are certain things that the NDM came up with. And not just let them wake up one morning and say, let's try this. Months were spent back and forth, this and that, back and forth, coming to an understanding of what was best for the Jamaican people. The NDM was not formed, in my humble opinion, to win office, you know. The NDM was formed to rescue the youngsters of Jamaica. Am I right or am I right?
You're correct. You're correct, man. You're correct.
And the people who didn't want them rescued got so rude and out of order. Them, NDM never did matter. And they took time and weeded out the people from the NDM that they thought could make it happen. Then they tried to make the NDM fight each other for leadership. Have you ever heard of a leadership battle in the NDM recently?
No.
We don't need to do that. But we're not in a position to do that either. Because we believe in democracy. Real democracy.
The problem is the NDM don't just say democracy, they act it. So because I'm not trying to raise demonstrations and soapbox situations and hop on everything that is going, them never matter. But there are a lot of things that the NDM brought to the table that need to be discussed. And any party or movement that does not seriously take it on, no mean the country no good.
That's right. Now, I will come to garrison politics. Garrison politics is a scourge on Jamaica.
Yes.
And
one person started and people copied it and did better.
Yes, of course. Of course. So no, but the man that started never promoted, you know. The man that started do it for his own personal benefit.
Yes.
And everyone of his ilk in the JLP had to go out and do them own.
Yes.
But the PNP
perfected it.
Set out a system. At least Anthony Spaulding's set out a system of systematically creating garrisons.
I must remember what ministry Spaulding's was in.
Yes, housing. right?
Mikey, I have to run. I'm sorry, but I'd love to have this discussion with you some other time.
Well, we got I have to run myself. I came late, but I have to run myself. So we
So
can
quick, Michael. No. Hold on there, man. I have no. You can't leave it, Michael, because I have some questions for you, man. Come on.
all right. Okay.
Don't leave him alone, Mikey. I have to run.
Okay.
But
All right.
as always, it has been a pleasure.
That is true. Nice listening to you, my friend.
All right, so Finzi-Smith, thank you for coming on.
Take care.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Thanks much. So, Michael Williams, let me
Yes,
ask
sir.
you this question here now. I hear Marlin Mallow Fort and Juliet Cuthbert Flynn going around.
And query.
Yes.
Yes.
Talking about vote buying.
And also Raymond Price.
And Raymond Price. Let me ask you this question. These people are saying that Jamaica's democracy is at risk. When their party, the two political parties in this country, was going around offering people money for vote, they never know the democracy of the country was at risk.
Listen to me, man. I don't blame the people. I don't blame the people for doing that, what I'm doing. Because everybody remember, and the people themselves remember what the JLP did with its salaries. And them want some of it.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying to the people, you know, in the crude way. You get a hold of money. Let have some.
Because you know why too? All these years they keep on buying vote from the people. The people turn the script on them and say, listen to me, man. You give us some of the money what you have there.
Yes.
And you will get our vote.
Yes.
Now, these politicians are so stupid. Some of them may give them the money. What guarantee they have to know that Tom Jones vote for them?
Well, I think that if them give them the money, they will go out and vote. But in their arrogance, they refuse to give them. Right? So I believe that the same thing happened with the PNP. And the PNP has been on the road for 2 years campaigning. And that take money.
Yes.
And every time they have a crowd and bring out a crowd, that take money. And wrapping up a money in a t-shirt is not confined to one party.
The two parties do it.
Of course. But
some politicians may not do it, some may not know about it. I heard Ronnie tweet on a radio station with Pernell Charles. And Pernell Charles said to Ronnie, I never know that they buy vote in Jamaica. That never happened to me before. And I said to myself, is this man for real?
Yes. Him can fool some other people, him can't fool everybody. And right now, the people have turned the tide on them. The people have know that them get enough money. The two sides. Right? And since you start, you say Mark Gold has been campaigning for 2.5 years. It take money for campaign for 2.5 years.
Yes.
You only start campaigning for 2 weeks. So you have a shorter time. So you have less money to spend. So you have a less off.
I'm gonna take about 3 calls and we're gonna wrap up because I know you have to go.
All right, no problem.
So let me give out the number. The number is 95452983030. Call in on what you think about the vote buying in Jamaica. I have a good friend of mine was calling me a while ago. Call me back. I want to say good afternoon or good evening to my good friend, the producer of this program, the Make We Talk program, Owen Brown, and his wife, Mrs. Brown. They're watching us. The numbers to call to the program is 954-529-8030. It is also a WhatsApp number. You can call from the land of wood and water. 954-529-8030. Call into the number now. What do you think about the idea of politicians saying that Jamaica's democracy is at risk because of vote buying. What do you think about the firing in? Firing in. What do you think about Everald Warmington resigned and Mark Golding told Dennis Meadows to go? Call this number 954-529-8030. In the meantime, hold on there. Hello, good morning, good evening. Welcome to Make We Talk.
Good evening.
How are you doing, my friend?
Me there come from work. I take you in, man.
Yes.
But you know what more have to say?
Turn on the TV in the background.
Yeah, man.
Having a feedback here.
Yeah, yeah. All right, now.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
First, I said good evening to you, Mr. Finzi-Smith, but still good evening.
Mr. Williams is here, though.
I'm taking. Even Mr. Williams, I take this opportunity.
Greetings, my dear.
On the behalf of the people, to say kudos to Marky G, Mark Jefferson Golden.
Yes.
Bold move. And I raise my hat to you. And I feel my listen and his wife I listen. Wife is Sandra, give him a special kiss for me. A man must stand up like a man. Do not make none of them in the party have no secret for you. So when you say move, enough he asks why if he does say, if he does go on. It time come for Jamaica, for we Jamaica people, especially the lower class of people, get some love, some respect, some opportunity, and some equality. And all of the people, me enough of the people are grown it. I say, yes, him do good. Me this nice, beautiful lady when named Michael Jackson, say she a JFJ or whatever. I said, then if the something never come out, what Marky G will do? Now we chat till we go overboard. He come out and he take a bold stand. He not grown it. Look how much things Everald Warmington do. We used to live in a Everald Warmington constituency. And one lady we have stand labor right until him blood green. Him husband dead. And he good on I have his to Mr. Warmington and I tell him and them fi give some benefit. And them a take long and them a grow him and whatever. Him man mark the expand paper and dash he give them. Mark it on paper. In Carwin Island Farm, say no chat to dog. In a chat to shit, in front shit. In a Highland Farm, what I got as. And look how long we take Andrew Holness. We come say one little something and say, him ask him to resign. Marky G no ask my man to resign. He fire him. And that is what we want to see. And this year, man, he say Marky G no spine. So show him say yeah, spine. Right? I mean some people are grown. PNP did this, Labour did do that. Now is mark the United system. Support the man. And tap grown, the grown corner and the grown bend. The man make a bold move, encourage him, pray for him. As anybody will hold on him and know more on him, give him advice. Say something to him alone can't do it. I must stop come off him back because plenty people are going like him and then white fall and he hurt me. The man campaign for a promise, say corruption no in him system. And you see this man come out contact about scamming this, scamming that. When do? Fire him. You never ask him to resign. He fire him instantly, whether you love it or not.
But
yes, this man.
You know, Carla, hold on, I'm cutting. You know something?
Yeah.
Mr. Warmington, my take on it, Everald Warmington should be asked to step down as a member of the Labour Party and also asked to step down at any position he holds within the Labour Party. They can't kick him out as a member. Hold on. They can't kick him out as a member of Parliament. Yeah. Why? Because the people of his constituency voted for him. So they can't tell him to leave as a member of Parliament. What they can do is at the end of when Andrew called the next election, he can say to Mr. Warmington, I will not allow you to run on the Labour Party ticket. See when they kick out my guy there, what's his name again? George Wright.
Meadows?
George Wright
Oh.
from the Labour Party. But George Wright is an independent candidate. So if they kick out Warmy, you know, Warmy can go back down there and win as an independent candidate and come back in the parliament.
That is when you're right.
So William,
these are the things. These are the things we want when talk about constitution reform.
Yes.
We want law to pass. Whether you're prime minister, minister of this or what. As you slip your slide, come out. Whether they vote you in or they vote you out, come out. So when they talk about them change constitution and constitution reform, these are the things because him is elected, he can't get run out. Them they sit there for change. So because I hit now him out and them taxpayer money with him disrespectful self. So when they talk about constitution reform, and that the constitution we want, bringing impeachment or what they call it, get them out. You could have just win. And your disrespect, come out.
Hold on for me, caller. So Williams.
Yes, sir.
Is there any provision in the Constitution where the Prime Minister can tell him to step aside as MP?
No. But we are proposing in our constitutional reform what the lady just said. We can recall a member of parliament. That's one of the proposals that we are doing. We can recall a member of parliament.
So in other words, what they need to do in the amending of the Jamaican Constitution or the rewriting of the Constitution.
That is one of the things that we are saying.
Right.
In our constitutional reform, we have to recall. You can't kick him out because the people elect him. But right. You can recall him and have a by-election again. And if he want to run, he can run again. Because if it's the people's choice, it's the people's choice. But those things will not happen under our system. Because we are saying that a member of parliament cannot be a minister.
Yes.
And we are also saying that there must be a recall. If the people of a constituency say that Warmington is disrespectful to them, we can recall him.
Hold on there for me, Mr. Williams. I want you to listen to this video here. And members of the viewing audience and the listening audience, we do apologize for this expletive. But listen to this. And I want your views on it. Michael Williams, listen to this.
Grass may not be the counselor, but he will spend every fucking dime he has. He may not be the counselor name, but he been charged. Right now, I intend to put personal location down there. Extra location. Be sure them who's in charge. Big and large. Brass ride alone. Brass got 1,668 votes. Enough to win. More than what got in last election. But these men in general, these laborers tell him down. But me in charge of stuff. Okay? Listen right now. I'm the Minister of Work. I'm a member of Parliament. Now PNP council going to spend my money.
Now tell me something. In 21st century Jamaica, Everald Warmington believe that the taxpayers' money of Jamaica belongs to him and the Labour Party. So he's going to withhold taxpayers' money from the People's National Party councillor. Michael Williams, what kind of country we living in?
That is totally wrong. Totally wrong. But that has been Warmington's modus operandi. That has been Warmington's style ever since, right? I remember him rent a place from Tertius Golden and don't pay the rent for many, many months. And Tertius Golden is an upstairs place.
Yes.
And Tertius Golden go to him and ask him for the rent. And him run the man out of the office and say, if anything, him pitch him over the staircase. That is Warmington style.
Oh, so that is why he disrespected Bruce Golden the other day.
That him always disrespect Bruce Golden. But Bruce Golden also disrespected the people of the constituency too. Because after that, Bruce Golden go and bulldoze him farm where he was planting and say he want to build fire station there. And no fire station don't build there up to today. So that is the type of arrogance that both sides operate. Right? But all of that tell you the type of person that Warmington is. And he is many, many disrespectful things he has done over the years. And I'm glad to know that he has resigned. Right?
He has resigned as Minister of Work.
Yes, that's all he can do. And I don't think that I'm going to go back in the next election. Right? But I'm not predicting anything. I predict some things and it's wrong. So I'm not predicting not more.
I believe that this man love power in and going back in.
No, it no matter what him love. It is up to the Labour Party and the leadership of the Labour Party to make the final decision on whether him go back or not.
But do you believe
with his record, him should not go back.
But Mr. Williams, do you believe that a member in the Labour Party can look on Master Warmington and tell him anything?
Yes.
He curse off Edmund Bartlett in the Parliament about 3-4 months ago, maybe a year ago, you know.
Yes, that don't matter. People him can still be spoken to.
By who?
Well, it's only the Prime Minister, the leader of the party can speak to him. Or the General Secretary can speak to him. But I'm sure that what they have been spoken to with the last comment, and the last comment was that bad comment. Bad comment. Right? And also it goes against directly what the Prime Minister announced how the money was supposed to be spent.
Yes.
Right? The Prime Minister outlined how the money was supposed to be spent. He said after consultation with all the councillors and the people.
I wonder if he was drinking some gin with his nephew.
Well, he was not a man that's shy from alcohol. Yes, miss, you're going to say something.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah. It no matter where me not drink. Enough time people want to chat in dental life and rum. That is Warmington. And Warmington do it over and over. And look at Mr. Bell the other day. Blatantly and call him dog, flea, fly, and chink.
And drunk,
you know, the man is a born Jamaican. Doing nothing wrong. And Jones never carry me. In call Lisa and Jezebel. In cause Caroline Brown. The journalist call him and ask him about Tribridge. He asked me if that's the only bridge. Come on for your phone, what it not. And you can't mention it, go down.
That's right.
But no, that Mark Golden take a stand. And you just imagine how them beg Warmington to resign. How they go down on their knee and plead to him. Because if he in good spirit, Jamaica turn upside down right down because wedding coffee talk. Because no matter how bad you be, you're not supposed, if you never have secret for him. He has secret for Andrew Wallace and him cronies them. So he untouchable. looking at COVID when disrespect the policeman, doing his lawful job when swear to keep her uphold. And here when come out and say, I'm gonna call arrest. You know what is this? Where is the policeman now? What did that policeman do wrong? Where is him now? Come on, people, let's not forget these things what happened. And we, the smaller class of people, been suffering this too long. Right? Suffering these insults and make the country look like we are the worst upon the planet. Right? In the end, when name Jamaica for Justice, we see policeman box people picnic for nothing. And if no matter what crime a person commit, the law say you commit against the state. So you hold him, you arrest him and make the court finish it. You box him, lick him down. I mean, I hear Jamaica for Justice come out, can't talk about them things there. But everything when Mark Golden do, if Mark Golden do good, then chat.
Hold on for me,
In the one a PSOJ.
Hold on for me. Mr. Williams, let me ask this question. Under the Town and Community Act, no loudspeaker shouldn't be on from 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. until 6 a.m. in the morning. Is that so, sir?
Yes, of course.
So how is it that the Prime Minister of Jamaica was allowed to go around this country 2:30 in the morning campaigning and nobody said nothing to him?
Well, I can't address that because I don't know. But I know what the law say. And if nobody ever talk to him, then they who were with him was breaking the law just like him.
But if it was a poor dirty foot choices man from down a crossroad, having a little sound system, I back in yard, they lock it down though. Like how they lock down popcorn.
They're supposed to lock it down.
Look at popcorn. Look at popcorn. What popcorn do?
Hold on for me, caller.
What popcorn do?
Hold on for me, caller.
They're supposed to lock it down because that is the time that them agree to. And everybody know the law. And because the rich man brought the law, the rich man must be locked up, just like the poor man. There's one law in the country.
So, the person who helped to make the law in the country, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, break the law on several occasions in the campaign of the local government election, and nobody says nothing to the Prime Minister of Jamaica?
Well, you are saying it now. So don't say nobody. A lot of people may have said it, but you are going on here and making it public now. It's a good point.
But yet, Fitz Bailey, the Assistant Commissioner of Police, can go up to Hope Garden. I'm not saying that you mustn't abide by the law of the land, you know. And Popcorn must abide by the law of the land. But if Popcorn music shut down, why didn't they shut down Andrew Horner's campaign?
Well, that's two different questions. Everybody needs to shut down at the time that is agreed to. And I can tell you about Hope Gardens because I know it very well because I live there.
Yes.
From Friday evening, these people were making noise over Hope Gardens because them take 1 day to set up. Them start to set up at 2 o'clock on Friday. And the people that rent Hope Gardens call him and tell him can't start at 2 o'clock. It must start at 5. When they hope to pass, just people coming home. And them start to set up at 5 o'clock. And them never finish till 12:30. And the music was so loud that I had to go over there at 10 o'clock and tell them, busting up my window. Because my window them shaking with the sound of the beat. The bass. And they went on, they started at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. on Saturday. They started at 2 p.m. And they went on straight until 12. And Popcorn wasn't part of the show. It come on last.
Oh.
At 12:05. And we support the lockdown because we couldn't take it any longer. They were supposed to lock off at 12. and then bring on popcorn at 12:05. If them can't manage a show, they must manage them time better.
I agree,
Them
yes.
from 2 p.m. to 12 p.m., 12 midnight. And that's when they want to bring on another person. Well, I'm telling you, nobody in Hope Park shall sleep. And we have all different type of people living here. We have babies. We have toddlers. We have teenagers. We have people taking exam. We have people going to university. And that is what we go through 3 times a week. Every night. 3 times a week.
So you go through all of that, Mr. Williams, and I sympathize with you. But imagine what those other people go through when they hear the speaker come about Labour Party marching and marching on to victory.
I don't have to imagine. I know what it feels like. Because I experience it all the time. I know what it feels like. So 2 of them is wrong.
And Fitzbailey can find.
I'm not supporting no wrong.
Fitzbailey, along with the Commissioner of Police, can go and find a man underneath the bed because he said something about Andrew Holness. But Michael Andrew Holness or Andrew Michael Holness is allowed to breach the law of the land, and nothing is being said about it. Are you talking about rules and law in this country, Prime Minister Holness? When you see one is breaking the law of the land?
That is why
we
want to change
the Constitution.
The Constitution says that Parliament is sovereign. What does sovereign mean? What does sovereign mean?
Go ahead and tell the people, Mr. Williams.
Sovereign means that you are the king. And that is what Norman Manley gave to Jamaica, because him was the premier at the time and him signed off on the Constitution of Jamaica with the British. And when Dudley Thompson, when Ashenheim asked David Core in Parliament, why are you not making the people sovereign? Him say, you know what his answer was? To give the people justiciable rights would delegate from the sovereignty of Parliament. I'm telling you word for word, because I studied that answer. What that means is that if you give the people the rights, sovereignty, it would take away from Parliament, and Parliament is sovereign in Jamaica.
My God, caller, go ahead.
Yeah, it shows that this Prime Minister have no respect, no regard. They make a law say no political representative. That means Prime Minister opposition, MP candidate, councillor candidate, indoor and outdoor agent who working inside of the polling station must not wear no colors represent no political party come vote. And the Prime Minister of the country wearing green come out with him bright green Gansy. That's them have to turn him back.
Hold on there now. Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Is there a provision in law that prohibit a person to come on the compound in a political when they call it paraphernalia?
No.
No, not come on the compound. The political representative them on election day must not wear no colors. Indoor agent, councillor candidate, MP candidate, Prime Minister opposition leader.
Okay. Mr. Williams.
That it makes sense. Not the ordinary people.
The Prime Minister can wear anything you want if I'm going to vote. You can wear anything you want if you're going to vote. But you cannot go into a polling station as an observer and have on colors.
Because I know there's a law. I don't know where I saw that law. That you can go in there.
Rule and regulation.
Okay.
It is part of ROPA.
Yes.
You can't mix up the two things. if the Prime Minister is going to vote, if I'm going to vote in my polling station at Jamaica College, I can wear any shirt I want. I can wear a blue shirt. I can wear a green shirt.
Wear any
I can wear an orange shirt. I can wear any color
Yes.
shirt I want because I'm going to vote.
Continue talking for me. Excuse me, I got to turn off something. Just continue talking.
Okay. No, there's a
Yes, Mr. Williams. Let me say you can wear, but not the political representative.
No.
That them pass the law. EOJ and them pass the law.
The police,
EOJ and them, none of them.
If the councillor.
So why him do that?
No. If the councillor running in that division can go into the polling station and his opposite, the person running against him, can also go into the polling station. Right?
Yeah, but not in the colors.
He can only spend a certain amount of time, and the indoor agent can tell him to leave if he passed that time, like 5 minutes.
Yes, we understand that, but in the new law, them say an election day, they must not wear. That's why them turn him back. And you see them put up a resistance. He must just turn back.
Yes, of
he didn't put up a resistance because that was what them sign off on.
Yes, of
but
course.
Because he is a bad man. He is a bad man.
But
I saw. That is the reason why.
I saw a similar video with Paul Burke going into a polling station. And that was not his polling station, going to observe. And them tell him to come out and wouldn't come out until the policeman had to tell him to come out.
I saw.
Of course. So because law. And it goes for everybody, no matter who you be.
All of them break the rules.
Right? But
hold on for me, call.
All of them break the law. When Mark Golding come down for change the law, all we have to do is rally around him. All we have to do.
Hold on for me, caller. You must remember, you know, it's not a general election that happening, it's a local government election, you know.
That's right.
So Mark is not a prime minister when he can change the law, you know.
We know he can't change it yet. But by now, the next 2 years, up to the next 2 years, anytime Andrew feel like, if you feel like him bad now, tell him call it. And then you will see walk there. We're tired of the kicking our neck. We're tired of the abuse. We're tired of your work and can't buy chicken back. We're tired of it. And everybody has grown the basic need of the poor people. That is it. Why we make up the majority? We can't one piece of land. A few of our parents dead left piece, if you don't mind chop, they push we off it. We put Chinese. Come on, man. We are people.
Let me ask you a question, caller.
Yeah.
Because we have to go now because there's the next call coming in. Have you all got the Silicon Valley yet?
Yet with Silicon Valley, but I don't talk about that. Listen to me now. It's alleged. Listen what me say good. Anyway, me a slip correct me, stand corrected. It's alleged
yes.
that upper Orange Hill, in a brownstone, Orange Hill,
yes.
they find a lot of ballot box.
What?
Right? Yes. And up till now, the winning candidate, nobody knows no celebration yet. It's alleged. Come no one consume me, come carry my chicken back. Me no see it with me eye, But when Jamaican people say if you know go so in here, go so.
True.
So me ask for the authority to investigate it.
Yes.
And when you say Fitzbailey is a man who come up at the rank. And we the Jamaican people did have high regard for him. But now we not rate Fitzbailey and get tainted. Up till now we can't hear nothing about the Cooke out there. So we can't hear nothing about it. And lots of more. Lot more things happen in this country we sweep on the carpet.
Yes.
And the only thing these people do are oppress the poor people. And the poor people, them wicked to themselves to call them take them belly, make them give them care package and fertilizer and chicken. Me a 54-year-old. And from the day me a vote, I never sell my vote. Because I read and I understand that none is dead to free.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks for calling in, my dear. Thank you so much for calling. Have a next call.
Man. Yeah, man. Big up Marky G.
Thank you. The number to call is 954-529-8030. So okay. Good night. Welcome to Make We Talk.
Good night, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Turn off your TV or something in the background, please.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, I listen to you with all these calling and things like that. Because I don't know how my name Brown takes so long to decide the election. Because we know it's an switch ballot box, you know. Jeffrey, look here.
Yes.
I've been working in police station from 1972 till 1992.
Yes.
So I don't have to listen to what Gospel Brown is saying. We don't know how the system works. It's only them little young people who don't know. But we know how the system works, Jeffrey.
Yes.
Because when the police station closed, all of the ballot them is tally already and go to the Labour Party call for them headquarters and give them all of the details. The PNP call and give all of the details. How much vote casted and something like that. All them will do now is just check the confirm the amount of vote and check for the spoil one them and what have you. But them already know. And that's something them don't know, them know. I switch it, the guy switch the ballot box them, you know.
I know. Hold on for me, caller. I want to say hello to a friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine in the chat room. Lady
Okay,
Clark,
all right.
Lady Michelle Clark, how you doing? I haven't heard from you in a long while. That's my number on the screen there. I can take out that number and call. Caller, thank you for calling in.
All right, man. All right. Yeah, I'm full of one from the US.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
All right, Jeffrey.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, man. All right.
Thank you. So Michael Williams is still there with us?
Yeah, man, I'm still there.
So Williams, so all of this is going on in the country now, sir. What do you see? Where do you see this country going? Because if you have politicians disrespecting the Jamaican people, politicians are saying that vote buying now is affecting the democracy of Jamaica. But when they were giving the money to the people for the vote, it wasn't affecting the democracy of Jamaica, and all of a sudden it does. As a Jamaican citizen, do you think that Jamaicans are turning the table on politicians now?
And it's about time that they should.
Why you say that?
Because the modus operandi of most of the politicians on both sides,
yes,
is to give the people a bellyful at election time and then don't see them again until the next election.
Mm-hmm.
And the people realize that and know that. That is why we are saying that every MP must live in the constituency that them is representing.
Yes.
Every councillor must live in the division that them is representing. We say that so they can go through the same hardship that the constituency is going through, and they can go through the same hardship that the division is going through.
Yes.
Right?
So Williams, I want to tell you thanks for coming on. Because I know you have to go.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much. Michael Williams, Chairman of the National Democratic Movement, a good friend of mine. Thank you for coming on, sir.
You're welcome, sir. Sorry to be late, but I'll try
That's
to
all right,
be
man.
next time.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, good.
Good, good. You know, for the Jamaicans who are listening to us, let me say something to you all. When you have a prime minister, and this is not the time to say, I'm a Labour Party member, or I'm a comrade. The time has come for us to stand up for this piece of rock. And when you have a prime minister going around the country at 2:30 in the morning, breaching the law of the land, and if any dirty foot shows is Jamaican, have a loudspeaker going around, they lock them up. Good night. Good night. Welcome to Make We Talk.
Good night to you, Jeffrey, make you talk, sure.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Regarding the two politicians, I'm going to show you Jamaica is very funny.
Which two politicians
So,
are you talking about now?
Mr. Meadows and Mr. Warmington.
Uh-huh.
So, Mr. Meadows would have said what he said. Mr. Golden reprimand him, get rid of him, remove him there.
Yes.
But as it regards to Mr. Warmington, it was Andrew Wallace who fired Mr. Warmington. Andrew Wallace, if you read Mr. Wallace's statement, he had sitting down with Mr. Warmington, and then after he received his resignation. But if you look in him Gleaner, yesterday, PSOJ was pressuring the Prime Minister. Why is it that we put the political ambushment in the EOJ office when we have these politicians with this behavior? So the internal pressure of the public, of the private sector, Mr. Wallace has declared nothing more to do.
Let me say something to you, sir. I am not taking any kudos for anything. Before the private sector organization of Jamaica called out for Warmington to resign, on this program here, I make it absolutely clear.
No, I know. I was watching. I know.
That Mr. Warmington needs to step aside. And the Prime Minister of Jamaica must act and act now.
Yes, but what I was saying that Mr. Warmington would have made similar such behavior already and nothing was done previously. It's because of the dreaded pressure now of more quote-unquote person that may affect their decision. He may just have to act now.
But you know something to call up? When you have a Prime Minister who's afraid to act, because Warmington had did this when Edward Seaga was alive. He did it under the Seaga administration. He did it under the Bruce Golden administration, and now under Andrew Holness administration.
He did it twice under Andrew's administration.
More than twice.
Remember what?
More than twice.
Remember what his statement about fellow Bruce Golden.
Yes.
When Bruce Golden talked about Andrew Holness.
Yes.
And Andrew Holness brushed it away. When they asked him about the road, when the news reporter called him, his utterance to the news reporter don't call his phone. How could you be Minister of Works and Road? And I'm calling you to find out about road, and that is your utterance to the media. It's not like the person just randomly call and say, Warmington, what go on about the road? The person present themselves and give you who they are. And this is how you behave. No, man, we can't, in this day and age, we can't accept this type of behavior. So I hope this is now the template going forward. Since we didn't get it right then, I hope this is the template for both sides, not accepting these nonsense going forward.
And look at it, sir. How on earth can you have a former senator, a former chairman of the FLA, vying to be a member of parliament, to pass laws in this country, endorsing chopping, endorsing scamming?
Jeffrey, I tell you why I look at his statement. I look at it and picture him at the FLA. And look at his statement endorsing chopping. How much chopper would have access to certain type of things that FLA would have issued out. When the players come in with money, if he's endorsing and nothing is wrong with it, he's basically now putting the opposition and the government at war with the West. Because if you're saying nothing is wrong with chopping, they should chop whoever where they get the chopping activity from.
then you are now increasing whoever we are chopping to put internal pressure on us. One of the internal pressure, they could cut 4 stories not to come to Jamaica. So that statement could have also helped crumble a sector.
But not only
Simple
that,
as we look at it.
not only that, Mr. Meadows must be very careful. That
I don't think
the people up north, don't look at him a different way.
I think that if they are saying the fantastic 30 cause people up north to react to the government a certain way, then Mr. Meadows' statement obviously reach up north the moment he said
What
it.
fantastic church you talking about, sir?
You know, sir, what the goodly ambassador said, the United States.
No, man, remind me, am I getting old, you know?
No, so people like you, Rattigan, and Mr. Lonesome would have caused some demonstration for the United States government to act in a certain way in an advisory.
Let me say something to you, sir. Let me say something to you, sir. The American government don't act anything that anybody from the Jamaican.
No, but we all know that, Jeffrey. No, that's common sense thing. That's a stupidest statement. When they said that, when the ambassador put out that statement, I saw the Prime Minister put out a statement that he consulted some travel advisor and Jamaica is the safest place. I said, Prime Minister, this was not the place or forum for you to do that. You should have went to Washington, meet with the ambassador, present your case. Now you present it on the internet will not fix anything between you and the West. Because they already tell you from when the travel ban was in existence. It's not yesterday. It was almost 3 years ago. You're at the same level. So don't play politics. When you're the politics you're playing, you can't win. People were saying it's nonsense, nothing longer like it's garbage. Your travel advisory just come out today. We're never at level 3. I said, okay, there's a thing difference between read and research, you know, and us picking up common information.
If they go to the American Embassy website in Kingston, Jamaica, they would see it, you know, or on the Department of Justice website. You know, the problem we're facing in Jamaica, you know, sir, and around the globe, Jamaicans on a whole, we refuse to read, you know.
And we take everything these guys say as gospel.
Yes.
when
you have a bunch of dirty 30 according to them, that a friend of mine said we won't stop double ourselves as that. When you have a bunch of clean 30 people, not dirty 30, clean Jamaicans, 30 Jamaicans, who decide to stand up in front of the Jamaican consulate in Miami and say we will not stand for any corruption and the rampant crime and violence in the country. If hold on there. If Madam Ambassador had replied to the letter that Dr. Rupert Francis wrote to her and meet with Dr. Rupert Francis, you think this will go any further?
No, but that will never happen. Because Dr. Francis as an operative against their action.
They refuse to meet with the Jamaican citizens over here. But when they want money, they come over here for the money, though.
But you know what's funny, though, Jeffrey, my last point? What's really troubling? So I hear Miss Mother who fought and that athletic lady speaking about the buying a vote. And I find it very troublesome that you're speaking about buying a vote. But there's it on the internet where people is seeing out money. You didn't have a problem or calling out that people are called for an investigation from the ombudsman to find who is that person. Reprimand that person. You watch the activity going on. But because the people them now are forced to tell them, say, yo, we're going and money we want now.
You know,
we need not talk. Because that is the culture you institute.
You know my take on it, sir? My take on it, you know. And who want to dub me a member of the People's National Party, go ahead and do it. Who want to dub me a member of the Labour Party, go ahead. I don't care. I stand up for Jamaica and what I believe in. And anybody who know me know that when it come on to certain things, I don't put up with it. Let me say something to you, sir. The People's National Party, the Jamaica Labour Party, has been doing this vote buying for many years.
Yeah, man. Years, man.
I personally have not seen it, but it was told to me many times. It's been going on. So when you have these two members of parliament coming out and saying that Jamaica's democracy is at risk because of people asking them for money for vote, they're a bunch of hypocrites.
But guess what? Funny with that statement. The former mayor of St. Mary, Mr. Curry, said that was the reason why he lost because of vote buying. And I look at Mr. Curry to say, then if the opposition, if you're saying that, if you're implying that it's because of vote buying, the opposition now would have won this seat. If you are in government with so much resources, then how do you lose? How do you get there in the first place? Because if you're complaining about vote buying, it couldn't be that it is just this election. It would have been election and election before now, and this one. So why would have you win then and now why you would have lost? That argument is not holding any water.
But let me say something to you, sir. Don't you think it's a disgrace for this country to be known as the land of wood and water? And the Jamaican people in 21st century Jamaica don't have water in their pipes? When you look,
yeah, but
when you look on the breadbasket parish of St. Elizabeth, you have the Black River, you have the YS Fall, you have all kind of something where you can get water from and treat it and give it to the people. And every year, every 5 years, these people come around and promise you, I'll give you water and I'll give you 10 pounds of chicken back.
But Jeffrey, if you notice a key statement made by a gentleman, which I tells you the average Jamaican doesn't have any sense. So Mr. Ole said, being going around the country, there are three major concerns the person have: road, water, and garbage collection. So your tenure of building the most road or repairing the most road, doing the most for the economy, when that question does arrive, within the last 2 weeks to 3 weeks, when you're doing an election campaign situation, you know about that. All right. So since you know about that in the last 3 weeks, the 150 million you proposed to each MP to fix road and do everything, why did not you redirect that funds to address such problem identified now? Why is after the election there's a result now you notice that problem?
And not only that, sir. Why is it costing the taxpayers of Jamaica? It was going to cost $14 billion to finish the Conventional Hospital. Now it's costing the Jamaican taxpayers $21 billion. All because,
you know what this comes to?
All because the Labour Party have some bloggers who was on social media creating havoc. They have them up there as project manager and paying them a whole lot of money. And they have one of them at the Montego Bay Metro in Montego Bay, who's some manager down there.
The thing what I can't understand, too much people in position getting paid which they are not qualified to hold those spots, including politicians from the lower house and the upper house.
And
you put these guys there. You put these guys into place, they collect money. There's no result. Where is the audit to say that you move from a hospital that should have cost approximately 3.5 billion to now 21? And there is no increase in building size. You don't increase the land space in terms of you're going to have more hospital space. It's the same thing. What caused the increase? Nowhere is in the world that can happen. And somebody head does a role in terms of being in questioning it, in terms of murder, because people take things differently when we say head role.
But let me say something to you again, sir. In which other modern democracy, you see, that you gave a mandate to a prime minister, all right? And under the prime minister's watch with the Minister of National Insecurity. The Minister of National Insecurity has not proven to the Jamaican people that they can secure the Jamaican people, sir. When you have a government that can't secure its people, it's 5 things a government needs to do for its people, you know. But I'll name 3. When you can't secure your people, when you can't provide proper health care for your people, and when you can't provide proper education system for your people, then there is something fundamentally wrong with the governing of the country.
But that question is just set
in which other modern democracy can this nonsense continue to happen? You remember what happened in Sri Lanka with the family dynasty in Sri Lanka? When the Sri Lankan people decide that enough is enough, how long shall the Jamaican people sit down and have their back against the wall?
No, but if you notice, so the three critical things you mentioned, of the five, every modern or every society should have. But if we notice, we just pick crime. If we pick the geographical area where the highest murder rate within the last 5 years, one of those parishes, the Minister of National Security said, you can't secure your parish, how could you secure the country?
Thank you.
If you don't have a plan for the parish that you are managing, or the constituency you are managing, how could you have a plan for the country?
Thank you. And I keep on saying this. How on earth can you have a Minister of National Security, a Deputy Prime Minister, and a Deputy Defense Minister that cannot travel to the United States?
But not only travel, you should explain to them more with and document from the United States Department with questionable information in terms of money, gang funding, and money laundering. And this man or the Prime Minister has never addressed that matter. It just brushed under the carpet when there's an international meeting in terms of security. The Prime Minister would travel as the Prime Minister, maybe the Chief Defense Staff, along with the Commissioner of Police. So obviously, to me, what I'm reading, the Commissioner of Police must be the National Security Minister. Because the Minister of National Security can't travel. I refuse to travel.
But you know something, sir? I believe that the Minister of the Commissioner of Police hands are tied when they come on to certain things, you know. I believe that the Commissioner of Police hands are tied and they can't do certain things because the Minister of National Security, he pulled the weight.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I believe.
So it's just following protocol. There's not much he can do. Maybe he wants to do more, but because he's not the signatory for that post, he only can do so much leading up to that. He's allowed to do.
True.
But it's crazy. It's crazy that we can find so much money now to fund an election, but we can't find the same amount of money to help the school in Oak Garden that we're going to shut down for the special needs. I think that institution is equally important as running an election.
That is
an election is just an election is for 4 years.
You see something, sir. I can tell you something, sir. The politicians in Jamaica, you know, it is quite obvious, sure, majority of them has no respect for the Jamaican people. And all they think about is the power and the greed. The late Wilmot Perkins once said, you know, the center cannot hold mere anarchy upon the land. You know what that means? The Jamaican people need to stand up and look within themselves and call a spade a spade. Is Jamaica, I keep on saying that Jamaica, this country of ours that we're in right now, is knocking behind Haiti's back door.
We passed Haiti a long time, Jeffrey. Haiti is expected to project it at 5% growth. A country that's in war, expecting to project 5% growth. And a country now that's not in war can't produce 5% growth. But you still want to go there and help Haiti to fight their war when we can't even fight our own internal war of stopping in what's coming through the port, what's leaving in terms of everything. We can't stop it. So we're going to help somebody else and we have the same problem. All right, sir. Good night.
Thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. The Prime Minister of Jamaica going around Jamaica promised the Jamaican people somewhere in St. Anne that he will build a Silicon Valley for them. And he'll also give them a little Miami. When majority of our Jamaican people not even have a house to live in. When majority of our Jamaican people not even can get a title for their property. When majority of the Jamaican people Their lands are being stolen from right under their nose, and the Lands Authority of Jamaica does nothing about it. The majority of our Jamaican people have water in their pipe. And you talk about giving Jamaicans a Silicon Valley and a little Miami. These politicians go around and promise the Jamaican people all sorts of things, you know. But they don't realize that the Jamaican people are waking up now. The Jamaican people are awoken from their slumber and say enough is enough. The Jamaican people turn, yes, in Clarkstown. The Prime Minister told the people of Clarkstown in Trelawney, I said that he will give them, he'll build a like Silicon Valley for them. Good night, caller. Welcome to Back with Talk. Hello, good
My
night.
friend and brother.
How you doing?
Good man. Justice calling here, man.
Hey, Justice. How you doing, sir?
Good.
You know, the Prime Minister said he's going to build a Silicon Valley, give the people of Clarkstown.
Yes, yes. You know, and he's going to turn it into Little Miami.
Father, help me. I stretch my hand to you, oh Lord. If thou shouldn't God, I from Jamaica.
I'm wondering what part of Miami he's talking about.
I don't know.
Yeah, because you got some parts of Miami that's a real slum, you know. It's
Yes, you and I don't want to go there.
I wouldn't want to be there, you know.
So that's a good question. No? We must ask the Prime Minister, what part of Miami is he talking about?
Yeah, is he going to be building the mobile home, the trailer homes?
Must be.
That he was recommending at one point, that Jamaicans should invest in the trailer home.
In container homes.
The container homes. Yes, you know, trailer homes.
And them hot like a fire.
Yeah, we get our own little trailer park.
Oh, hold on there now. Tell me something now, Justice of the Peace. Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say something to you now. A Jamaican went and buy a 40-foot container now.
Yes.
And decided to cut it out and put a, you know, bathroom, living room, everything in there. That container attract a lot of heat and the sun hot like a fire.
Oh, yes, man.
And when the night come down, if you to go home, we go to inside the house to have a little nice sleep. You have a furnace. Meanwhile, Andrew was up in his mansion in Beverly Hills in air condition.
Cool as a cucumber.
You know, so these people are wicked to the Jamaican people, sir.
That's so low he thinks of us. Now, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Is it that Warmington resigned or did he got fired?
They said he resigned, but I believe he got fired from the
program. No, man. I believe he resigned.
Well,
because they can't fire him. If they had fired him, it would be a whole lot of hullabaloo.
No, they fired him from the cabinet. He can be fired from the cabinet.
From the cabinet? Yes.
But they can't fire him as a member of parliament because the party didn't put him.
Right, he's an elected representative.
Right.
No, but what I'm saying though, I find it extremely odd that after all Warmington have done, he has never been dismissed from the cabinet. In fact, he has been elevated in the cabinet, and all of a sudden, they're able to fire him. No.
Something fishy.
I think this was a strategic move because Mark Golden dismissed that other labor right there. What's his name? Mesdows, yes, man. Mark Golden dismissed him. So, you know, to save face, they asked, you know, Warmington resign to give Andrew some credibility.
And
because right now, you know,
go ahead.
He cannot afford for Mark Golden to run away with credibility ratings over him enough.
True.
He cannot afford. And now the eyes, the electoral eyes are on him.
Mm.
Corporate Jamaica is speaking out. Civil Jamaica is speaking out. The women of Jamaica are speaking out because Warmington has pushed the buck a bit too far.
And you know, I keep on asking this question, Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Does Warmington have a problem with female in Jamaica? I keep on asking that question. I don't know why. He called Lisa.
I think he has a problem with females.
Yes, he has a
on a whole.
Yes, he called Lisa Hannah Jezebel. He cursed out
Yes.
Caroline Brown at CVM.
The CVM. Yes.
Yeah. So obviously he has a problem with female.
I suspect. You
I
know,
wonder
but
why.
all I know, his behavior is atrocious, and he acts with no form of nobility, and I have a problem referring to him as honorable because there's nothing honorable about that man.
And that is why I said to you last night, Justice, that the Lay Managers Association must strip him of his JP ship.
Well,
and I'm calling on the Lay Managers Association. I'm calling on the Justice of the Peace Association in Jamaica. The time has come for the Lay Managers Association in Jamaica to say to Mr. Warmington, we do not think you're fit to hold a position as a JP.
Yes. And while we're back on this topic,
yes, sir.
You know, the Office of a Justice of the Peace oftentimes is treated and looked upon with scant regard.
Yes.
You know, but it is a very noble service. It is a very high calling, you know, and the Lay Magistrate Association needs to be more vigilant and elevate the code of conduct.
Yes.
Elevate their supervision to some of these justices, especially the ones that act in an unscrupulous manner. You know, they should be stripped. And even if I myself have fallen among the ranks of the unscrupulous, I should be stripped. But I believe that because of all of this, we are looked upon oftentimes in a negative light.
True.
And it undermines the principles that we stand for. And it makes other justices look common and cheap.
And let me ask you this question, Justice. And let me say this to you. And I don't want you to feel in a way because I have family members who are justices of the peace. And I'm going to end the family history with you, but one of these days I'll talk to you off air.
All right.
You see? Wherein persons who helped to raise me appoint JPs in Westmoreland. And based on what I see is going on now, I don't think I want the role of a JP because if they can give Warmington the role of a JP, who is cursing the Jamaican people some ends a bad word, and he's a JP.
Yes.
And he's a JP.
And yes. You see, and this is what I'm talking about. You know, I mean, the behavior of some has cast a negative shadow on many of us, you know.
Mm.
And if you look at the history of justices
Yes, sir.
in days of old, they were considered noble men,
Oh, yes.
noble women, you know, men and women of good report. But unfortunately, these days, there are some that has brought the office uh, down in the doldrum,
And Warmington is one.
most certainly. I I I remember also, and there's another point I wanted to make mention of.
Mm-hmm.
For some years, there has been a little glitch in the system. When I was doing my training, um, we were told that if you are a practicing attorney at law,
Mm-hmm.
you weren't. It wasn't recommended that you serve as a justice of the peace.
Oh, so that is why, hold on for my justice. So maybe that is
Mhm.
why they refuse Isaac Buchanan as JP?
Well, what I read
Yes.
was that they refused to appoint him because he refused to make mention on his application that he had a previous conviction.
Oh.
And that's important too.
Mm.
And I'm going to tell you something.
Yes.
If that question is asked on an application form, whether or not you would have had a previous conviction or running with the law,
Mm-hmm.
and you did, but you wrote no, your character is now questionable because you're being dishonest.
Mm.
You understand?
Yes.
If you're here in the United States of America and you're issued a residency card
Mm-hmm.
and you fill the application out to become a citizen,
Mm-hmm.
and if the same question is asked and you answer in the negative when it was a positive,
Yes.
you are denied your citizenship because you would have lied.
Mm.
So it is important that when asked these questions, you are as honest
But if
as honest can be.
but hold on there. If you were locked up but never charged, then that
Mhm.
you should say yes to that.
No, the question is,
Uh-huh.
have you ever been convicted?
Oh.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Convicted means
Yes.
that you have spent some prison
Convicted means
time.
that you were charged,
Yes.
found guilty,
Uh-huh.
and convicted.
Okay. Okay. No, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and also, there are some police officers that served as justices of the peace, and that was also a glitch because that's a conflict of interest.
Mm.
Yes,
So what you're
if you're a
saying,
police
what
officer,
you're saying, if you're a police officer, you cannot serve as a JP?
no, unless you're retired,
Oh.
because that's a conflict of interest.
Mm. Very interesting.
If you're a military officer and second lieutenant going up, you can be asked to serve as a justice of the peace.
Mm.
That's what I learned during my training.
Okay.
Yes,
Wow.
and you can understand why a police officer and a justice of the peace would be conflicting.
Yes, because you know the JP have to go into the prison to see that the prisoners are okay, and you can't be a police officer and say the prisoners are
Yes.
okay when you're a police officer. Hell no.
Okay.
Mm.
You
Justice,
know,
I want you and I to have a conversation, and I want you to
most definitely.
I want you to dig deeply into the prison system in Jamaica, because there's a
Yes.
provision in the constitution, and I want you to
Yes.
look up at it, that give the prisoners the right to vote. You know,
Okay.
I want you to look upon it for me, and we can discuss it.
Okay, I will.
Yes, because we need to
I
discuss
will.
that, because it cannot be that if that is under the constitution, that our
Yes.
prisoners are locked away
Yes.
and they're being barred from the fundamental right of voting, then something is wrong somewhere there.
Something is wrong.
Yes.
And also, it is important for the Jamaican citizens to know that knowledge is power.
Indeed.
It's knowledge isn't something that we should shun or stay away from. We should endeavor to learn as much as we can,
Yes, sir.
because our very lives depends on it. The way of life depends on it. Because let me tell you this, you know, a lot of people in Jamaica that are suffering and living in squalor,
Yes.
if they understood their worth, that they are worth more than chicken back or curry goat and white rice or buy me a liquor, if they understood their worth, Jamaica would be a better place today.
True, and if they stop this thing, but me a ban PNP and me a ban labor right, and think about the country Jamaica.
Yes. Jamaica land we love.
Indeed, indeed.
You know, I remember when I was a boy in Jamaica growing up,
Yes, sir.
every morning I look forward to hearing the national anthem
You know,
playing.
hold on there for me, sir. You know, God work in mysterious ways, because I was gonna say to you, before you go tonight, can you end our program by reciting the national pledge? And see, you're going to the national anthem.
Uh-huh. Yes, I will. I will try to recite to the best of my knowledge. And I promise you, I'll not read from anything.
Indeed.
But I remember the day of the national anthem, which is a prayer.
Yes.
I remember the day. I knew when it was 12 o'clock. Because you'd hear the song, Sweet Hour of Prayer.
Oh, yes.
Coming on the radio.
And JBC or RJR.
Yes, sir. I remember those days.
Indeed.
And every time I hear my national anthem, tears come to my eye. Yes, sir.
You know something to justice? If the Jamaican people could respect the national anthem and the flag, like I said, the American people respect their anthem and their flag. My God, we have no respect for a flag nor a national anthem.
I'm telling you.
Justice, we're gonna close off now. Can you close us
Yes,
off?
sir.
Can you close us off with the national pledge, sir, please?
I'll try to the best of my knowledge.
Please.
Before God and all mankind, I pledge the
love and loyalty of my heart,
the love and loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, the strength and vigor of my body, in the service of my fellow citizens. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race.
Thank you, Justice.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too. You helped me out too.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, my friend and brother.
You're welcome, sir. All the best.
Godspeed.
Godspeed.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. This is where we're going to say so long from here for another night on the Make We Talk program. To all those who are watching, to all my family members, to all my friends. Michelle Clark, good night to you. Mishy Boo. Good night. I used to call you Mishy Boo, yes. Good night to you, Michelle. Thanks for coming onto the program. You know, sometimes you have some memories of some stuff, you know. Some good times and some bad times. But, you know, give God thanks and praise for everything. For those who watch us from around the world, thank you. Thank you for being a part of the Make We Talk family. Thank you for being a part of my family. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. May you continue to fight for the land that we love. May you continue to be a part of Jamaica, as what the great John Lewis said in his many speech to the American Senate. Let's get in some good trouble. When the time come around for us to exercise our franchise, let's do it. We end our national anthem, our national pledge, we're going to end with the words from the late John Lewis.
I got arrested a few times. During the 60s, I went to jail 40 times. Since I've been in Congress, I've been arrested another 5 times. And I'm probably going to get arrested again for something. I'm not suggesting that any of you should go out and get arrested. But when you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, stand up and say something. Do something. I gave a little blood on that bridge in Selma 53 years ago. I almost died. Some of my friends and colleagues were murdered in Mississippi and other places. I'm not asking any of you to give any blood. I'm just asking you to go and vote like you never voted before. We have to vote. The vote is the most powerful, nonviolent instrument or tool we have in a democratic society, and we must use it. Use it. Go out and vote. Let's go out and vote. Go and vote. Go and vote.
And that's what we need to do. We have 29% of people voting in our country, when 2 million people were eligible to vote in the last local government election. Only 29% of our people vote. That's 500,000 people voted. The Jamaican people reach a point that they're asking themselves, what should we vote for? And that is why right now they are asking politicians for money, because they need some money to vote. It is not right for you to sell your vote. Your vote is your constitution right to go out and vote, not to sell it. So I would encourage the Jamaicans to sell their vote. No matter what you're going through, do not sell your vote. We're going to end with a dub plate from one of Jamaica's finest DJ of all time. Mad Cabra sent this to me courtesy of Mr. Michael Donor.
Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk.
Thank you all very much. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Until you hear my voice again, may God bless you. And may God bless Jamaica land we love. Good night, everyone.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.